Can Jamaican school afford the Penn Relays 2026? My answer is yes. And here's why. Watch a full video to find out the reason why I said so. This episode is sponsored by J&J Garage. Top quality, cheap prices.
J Garage, we do excellent brakes and clutch repair. Pressure plates, flywheels, disc brake pad, brake shoes, clutches. Any job you have, cars, vans, jeeps, buses, trucks, and tractors. Just call J&J Garage, 1-876-408-3836, 887-7504 for all your pickup and delivery service throughout the 14 parishes. Okay, welcome SportGlobe YouTube family. Thank you very much for joining us today again. And of course, I want to welcome our athletics and track and field family, and of course the Jamaica supporters right around the world. Today we're going to be talking about the Penn Relays, of course, that is going to be coming up in another couple of weeks. You know, the Gibbs Day is going to be happening shortly. The Boys and Girls Champions is going to be happening shortly. And of course, you know, we have recognized that Melissa had happened, you know, a couple of months ago. And we just want to welcome Erwin Clare to our channel right now from Team Jamaica Bickle. He's the CEO, I understand. I don't have title mean much to Erwin, and of course he's the director for Caribbean Immigration Services as well. You know, whole lot of responsibility right there. Erwin, thank you very much for, you know, coming and sitting with us and having a little chat in regards to letting us understand a couple of things and the work that you do as well. You know, so thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you very much for having me, Richard, and to your listeners, I say good morning.
Of course, fantastic. Erwin, you know, as I said, I wanted to certainly give you a big shout out and a big up, as we say in Jamaica, in regards to the work that you have been doing for a number of years, Erwin. Must commend you on the OD that you've gotten and the recognition that Jamaica have even recognized the work that you have done. And I know it's not just in sports that you have been working, but you have been working in other areas in helping. It's really, you know, for me, I see it as a people help that you really engage yourself in helping people, you know, not just Jamaican people or Caribbean folks, but, you know, folks in general that, you know, I kind of see the passion that you have in regards to just a people to people and helping somebody getting to where they want to go, and especially the youngsters that you have. So I must commend you again on the work that you continue to do and always been doing over the years.
And thank you very much for that. It's part of my DNA. Kudos to my mother. Humble district I come from, Bamboo. All right, let me start. Shelley Road, Bamboo Center, and the best part.
Okay.
And you know, not a Rabalak, but a Yorkist.
A Yorkist.
but committed as a countryman, committed to the nation. You know.
Okay, and, fantastic.
You know, and sharing what and how we were brought up.
Yeah.
In a wider scale, and humble beginnings, and respecting of that. You know, and I've been privileged to work with some superb persons over the years, granted opportunities that allowed me to do what I'm doing, and it's not a one-man team.
Yeah,
you know? It's a team, a collective.
A team effort.
Yes,
right.
and we find that when we come together and do things, big things happen. You know, so we're just awesome. We're just you know, thankful for that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Erwin. As you segue into a little bit about your own upbringing, and you know, and of course you're growing up in Bamboo a little bit. I always want to ask you, Erwin, what got you into, you know, the whole Team Jamaica Bickle? What would have, you know, what would have got you engaged? I know you've been involved in athletics, track and field, schools, and that kind of thing. But what got you the reason to get up and say, "Hey, listen, I need to form an organization so that I can do these things"? What would have spurred you?
Well, you know, I trying not to age myself, but I would have migrated to the United States in '78 and finished my college and got into banking. And I would say I did fairly well. Upon the time, I disassociated myself from from the whole corporate structure. I was a senior vice president in operations, and it was good. You know, pay was good, and you know, the progression was, you know, good things was happening. But I decided to take a parachute, a package from the organization which by then was downsizing. And I realized back then, boy, for a black man at my age at that time, to just seamlessly find another career path in a similar situation would be difficult. So we at the time too, I was also president of the Jamaica Progressive League, which was the oldest Jamaican organization in the States, especially in the Northeast section. And lots of responsibilities there because it was all about community. It was partisan slighted, and we kind of shifted back at the time because we wanted it to be more community oriented. Out of that, back then too, your rivals from what is that, Hope Road? Yeah, Jamaica College. I used to join them. Yes, man. I used to join them. Very good guys. We used to join them on a yearly basis on the trek to Penn Relays. Yeah. And we started a magazine called Star. I forgot the name of the magazine now, but anyway, was to mirror the Penn magazine so that Jamaicans could get a better feel for what was taking place from a Jamaican perspective. And so we'd go down there and work the field and see what's going on. Whilst I was taking place, boy, I tell you, as president of Progressive League, because it was a duality of functions I had at the time. Right. We would host a kind of a dinner for the athletes at the end of Penn Relays. And a former principal, the colonel from Veer Technical, said to me, Erwin, one night, he says to me, boy, look at all this food, it's like a feast for dead people. Because it was coming at the end of the relays when people tired, lethargic, and all that kind of stuff. And he said if we get this kind of presentation during the Penn Relays, then it would go a far way better. So I went back the next year, we started figuring out how we could do this. And to make a long story shorter, hooked up with Vincent Osang of Caribbean Food Delight and wrote through them the idea if we could, because you have ideas, but you have to find ways to finance it. I mean, no revolution is going to be successful unless you have a financial platform behind it. And I have no money, I just have ideas. And I got him to sign on, and we started an 8-foot GE trailer, and provided some patty and bun and cheese. Because at the time, let's not kid ourselves, 30 odd years ago, kids were coming into the Penn Relays, those who have had, those who didn't, but they're all there to compete. Yeah. So you basically have a situation where some kids you're coming into a new environment and there's unequal opportunity. Yes. And it was not good. It was not a good look. The kids were staying in conditions that were not were not comfortable, should not be comfortable for parents who are sending the kids overseas. Although with the best of intentions, people in the diaspora were keeping them in their homes and doing all that kind of stuff, it was with a lot of risks. Right. So we developed a structure over the years as we were to evolve. We started setting up, now we got a tent, big operation. We actually created a 5-star restaurant at the Penn Relays. Yes. Cook the food that are consistent to the dietary needs of our athletes. And every year since then, we have improved on what we have done to where we are today. And to say what the motivation was primarily to level the playing field, to make sure the basic things are in place for athletes. Yes. And that's what we target. It's all about our athletes' welfare. And in that comes a whole lot of stuff, whether it be dental, medical, chiropractic, counseling, having lawyers on standby, all of that. Sure that they have friends in the police department, for Christ's sakes. All of that. All of that. We try to look at all the things that a single mother in Petersfield or wherever, sending them one picnic or foreign would be comfortable and secure that they're in good hands. Okay. So today, once an athlete comes off the plane, we ensure that their meals are in place. We pick them up in transportation. There's insurance for them should in case they get injured. There's a kind of a protection we try to cover. Can we cover all the bases? No, but we're always thinking and trying to figure out, because it's a moving dynamic. It's fluid. What happened last year, rules change again this year, so of we course. Have to keep, and at the same token, important here, Richard, is that we find ways to maximize and to also leverage the presence of the athletes in an environment which is new to them. What can they learn? What can they take back from this that will add value to their existence? Whether they get a scholarship, whether it prepares them better in school, they now have a better wherewithal in the world. etc., etc. We're always thinking about those situations.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where we are today. And again, it comes back down to the motivation. And the one person is my motivator there, apart from God, is my mother.
Is your mother?
That's where it comes from.
Tell me quickly, Erwin, how did you come up with the name Team Jamaica Bickle? I understand. How did you find the name?
Well, you see, we all started out on this thing about food, so we had to find some way now to make it. How does the food piece against it? So as a country, remember now, I go back to my country living now.
Yes.
Back in the days, you see, my grandmother, I was the only grandchild who lived at home with my grandparents.
Yes.
And every day she'll cook a big pot of food. I mean, I wonder every day, it's just a tray over there and it's bullet of food because somebody's awesome passing by. I want some bickle.
Of course, that's how it is.
I want some food, you know.
That's how it is.
And so I remember the discussion we had with the editor of the North American Gleaner at the time is Virginia Turner. I'm sorry to call her up, but and we came up with the term. It must be something about Jamaica.
Food.
It's a group. And food. So here comes Team Jamaica Bickle. And people at the first time, some people laugh at me and say, boy, you're food for what kind of business is that? But guess what it did? Guess what it did? To the external. It enlisted conversation.
Yeah.
If you and I can converse, then I have the opportunity to sell you on what I'm doing. In so doing, I get you to buy into what I'm doing.
Perfect.
And that's how we've built a relationship over the years. And now it has become one of the most significant Jamaican brands external to Jamaica.
Also a name.
Yes, sir.
Also a name.
And it's registered, trademarked, and copyrighted. And we have, in fact, our vice chair is a patent attorney, so therefore we don't play. Anybody come close to it, we're going to do the necessary legal stuff to protect it because it's not just about Team Jamaica Bickle, it's about Jamaica, brand Jamaica.
Yeah, it's a brand. It's a brand. I mean, as I say, as a youngster coming up, I see it become a very strong brand as well. But so I want to go down there because you step on it, you talk about it a little bit, understand exactly what happened when Team Jamaica Bickle get involved. Let's say for Penn Relays 2026 now, these schools are coming off the plane, they land in Philadelphia.
Yeah, man.
What happened from there for Team Jamaica Bickle? How they transition into what you're doing?
Well, we would have before then, since October, gone to the marketplace to secure hotel accommodations to make sure that the prices are something we can afford. You see, Philadelphia is a very active town. It has a lot of conventions. Hotel rooms are always premium, especially in the numbers we're talking about. And also with the things that we want to do. We're not normal occupants, right? We have to do certain unique things there. Yes. First and foremost, we want to make sure that if there's a flagpole outside, that the flag flying out there.
Everybody know we're there.
All right. And next thing is that we have to bring in our own food. All right?
Yeah.
So it's not every hotel will allow that. So we have to do some negotiations, and it calls for insurance, calls for a whole lot of other things. And so whereas we could get a cheaper rate someplace, when we look at all the ancillary stuff, we can't do that there, so we have to counterbalance. What is important to our athletes is the food that they know about. We don't want to upset. We don't want to upset their dietary situation.
Exactly.
So we work in close cooperation with the Jamaican restaurants in Philadelphia. A relationship that we have harnessed. We don't take it for granted. And we work with them because we're talking about, it's not just Jamaican athletes catering to some other Caribbean islands as well.
Right.
It could total up anywhere from 600 to 700.
So it has been expanded now beyond Jamaica.
Yes. Because, if we're leaders, we have a responsibility for those amongst us and around us.
Yes.
And furthermore, it's also a kind of an arrogant thing too. Jamaica is just Jamaica, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's not for public consumption. Anyway, moving right along.
That's okay. I mean, we have to do it. We have to lead.
Yeah, we have to do it. If we can help our brothers and sisters, we have to do it.
Of course.
And so what will happen is that we'd have had the hotels prime, set up waiting for us. We now arrange, we try to get it in the hotels very close to the airport, so we have hotel pickups. So we still supplement with our transportation because we have these odd flights from every day now and then. They come into the hotel, we have food waiting for them. All right. We have persons who are there to monitor things. These are young people, and right away my blood pressure starts going high because we have to be on edge here. And then they'll be there for the meals, and then we for Penn Relays now we transport them daily to the.
Hey everyone, check out this bump-free spray. It stops the grown hair. To show you just one spray, it's that easy. No bumps, no irritation, just smooth skin. Get yours today.
To the field.
To the meet.
Mm-hmm. All right, we are hosted in the palestra. And just for the benefit of you and you would have be familiarized with it. But the palestra is a landmark building. The palestra is the University of Pennsylvania's basketball arena. This is where during COVID the NBA played games.
Right.
So it's a convenient environment that the athletes now are not exposed to the elements like the other 20,000 athletes. We're the only ones that are catered like that because we make sure if that is the case. We're not used to cold weather. All right? So we try not to expose our athletes out there unless it's absolutely necessary. So we are housing the palestra today. I give you a case in point that is something that I was sharing the story just recently with somebody else. When we bus our athletes down in the mornings, at Penn Relays, you have a major entrance for the regular folks that goes in and etc. etc. Team Jamaica Bickle has its established entry point. Manned with security guards, signage that says Team Jamaica Bickle only. And if you turn up Richard and not identified as a Jamaican, they say go down to the other entrance.
Yeah.
All right. Now, why do we do that? Our athletes are ambassadors.
Yes.
They are there to do a job that entails representing themselves, their school, and their country. And when you wrap all that together, creating opportunities for themselves. So we want to make sure that all the assets are in place to ensure they have a fair advantage.
So Erwin, all them USA school teams, colleges and stuff, that very jealous and envious then.
Well, of course, and they'll come over. They'll also come over and try to find what it is that is making our athletes tick, and we invite them in. Because at the same token, we want to invite them to Jamaica too. We want them to send their teams down here to train. We want them to come down and fill up our hotel rooms and buy our products and create opportunities for Jamaicans here. That is the collateral and the extension of our athletes, creating opportunities for people back at home. So when we go out there and we say this is Jamaica, and people say, really, to get the real jive of it, we're going to get all of it in the palestra. Take a flight to Kingston or Montego Bay. Spend some money at the hotel, buy some jerk chicken from the man on the street, push money to the economy.
Yes.
This is all about economics.
It has far-reaching tentacles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we've seen it happen too. Because this weekend, for example, Team Jamaica Bickle sponsored 2 teams as we speak at the Gibson's Relays today.
Yeah.
Because we want to expose those kids and their families to Jamaica.
So these are teams that you're bringing into the Gibson Relay.
Sir. Yes, sir. So if we bring in 10 people, I can guarantee you 3 people will repeat visitors. What does that mean for the economy?
That's certainly. And if they keep doing that.
That's how we look at it. That's how we look at it. That's how we look at it.
And that them teams bring family in.
There you go. There you go.
Family.
Yes.
And then family bring friends and friends.
Because we have an 8-member team. We have an 8-member team. I think there are 22 persons are here.
Yeah.
There you go. So the point is that once the athlete comes in, we are in a position. We try to put assets in place to accommodate the security, safety of our athletes and the opportunity for them to expose themselves to other situations.
So Erwin, Team Jamaica Bickle ensure that all aspect of a student athlete coming into Penn Relays is taken care of as best as possible.
Yes, sir.
As you said, so everything. So if a man feel like him have a toothache when he came to the
we can get you a dentist.
Relay, you might can find a dentist too.
We will find a dentist. And the important thing is this. We have and we target our professionals, Jamaicans in the profession, and they are stepping up. Because many people now, let's remember, Team Jamaica Bickle is made up of many volunteers. People with varying skill sets and professional skill sets and entrepreneurial skill sets. So it's a collective to the man who works as an orderly in a hospital, to as ranking as administrator of the hospital, they all come in and sweep the floor.
Yeah.
Because
so I want you to repeat that again, Erwin. That you have lots of Jamaicans who are volunteering to this organization.
Yes.
So people might be thinking that Team Jamaica Bickle is doing this out of some money that somebody have or some rich guy have that's putting into the thing, but it is made up of a lot of resources, which is volunteer resources that you have.
And one of the Jamaicans too. We have chiropractors flying from Canada, to be part of it. All right,
from Canada.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Dr. T and his group. And they come and avail themselves, pay their ways to be there. There are persons who take off their vacation just to be there, because nobody gets paid in this sort of situation.
Yeah.
You understand me? And
all a volunteer.
And when we do this too, we try to extol the virtues of volunteerism. And that's why last year we started something new with UTEC in memory of one of our fallen volunteers. And that is an internship program with the hospitality department with UTEC, so they can come up and see what we do here, get a different perspective from an operation that is.
Tell us a little bit more about that, Erwin, if you can.
Sure. We launched this internship program at UTEC, where we sponsor a third-year student who comes up, who mirrors what TJB does here in Jamaica, as well as come to the Penn Relays and see how we operate, and is involved in our operation, the planning to the presentation, as part of their coursework. All right. Okay. We have a platform here that we have to look at all its opportunities, how we leverage it.
Right.
And so we make sure that we provide these opportunities for our kids, so that they can look at outside of their classroom, outside of the local market, how these type of operations take place to widen their skill sets. So we started that last year, and what that has done now is that we also have had a relationship with the HSBCU, historical black colleges and universities in the United States. And now this year, they too will be sending an intern from their system to Team Jamaica Bickle. And the whole idea here is how we integrate and how we cross expose, because one of these days, who knows, you can have someone from HSBCU coming into Jamaica and see how Champs operates.
I'm sure it'll happen soon.
Yes.
It'll happen soon.
Yes.
This episode is sponsored by J&J Garage. Top quality, cheap prices.
J Garage, we do excellent brakes and clutch repair. Pressure plates, flywheels, disc brake pad, brake shoes, clutches. Any job you have, cars, vans, jeeps, buses, trucks, and tractors. Just call J&J Garage, 1-876-408-3836, 887-7504 for all your pickup and delivery service throughout the 14 parishes.
You see, creating opportunities. That's what it's all about. Creating opportunities.
I like the mindset. Erwin, I know you wouldn't have seen all of this when you started, but as it went on,
it's evolving. It evolves, and we have to. Listen, we have to get ready for AI, man.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, Erwin. So I want to talk a little bit more as we're talking Penn Relays and we're talking about Team Jamaica Bickle, and the services and the help that you have been given to these student athletes over the years. One other thing that catch my attention this year is how expensive it is, and I want to kind of extrapolate from you. How expensive? What figure do you have in a student athlete coming to Penn Relays? What kind of expense is it? Because I see airfare is pretty phenomenal right now. Of course, there's a visa fee. The $250.
The potential new integrity fee that could come into play.
Yes, $250. I think they have delayed it a little bit. But it's pretty expensive. What kind of numbers are you seeing just to take care of an athlete while they're at Penns? That I'm sure you would have sat down and look at what that expense is like per athlete. So people can get the understanding and the sense that the magnitude of the work that you and your volunteers have been putting in, because there's a value to all of that. So you need to appreciate that kind of a value.
Indeed, you figure average plane fare can run anywhere from minimum $500 to $700. All right, and That's an area that where we are now, we can't impact that. So we try to look at the other factors, the other expenses. The next big expense is accommodation.
Okay.
The other expense is food. So those are the three big ones, you know.
Right.
Other stuff are very critical, but the other stuff can all be consumed in the United States where we are.
So these are service stuff.
Yes, yes. The two others that we have direct impact on and we have had for the past 30 odd years is food. We have removed the food expense. And let me tell you, our kids eat a lot. And they eat enough.
Jamaican.
Yeah, man. And we're proud of that. All right? So we've removed that expense.
Okay.
That could be anywhere from be 20 to 30% of your expense. Food, if you ask Kingston College and you're a team now where they talk about food even though the terms, you get a feel for it. All right?
Yes.
So we remove that expense. We remove the transportation, the local transportation piece. We have removed this year the fees for every school to enter the Penn Relays.
Okay.
Schools from Jamaica this year will not be paying fees to participate at the Penn.
And what that fee was like?
That's something I deal with the school. It could I think it could anywhere be per race. It could be about $50-$60 per race
per event.
Event. All right. And it adds up to the school.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
so you remove the expense. So food, we or insurance we put in now because the risk of an athlete getting injured could be catastrophic on the insurance policy at home because the Jamaican government should have insurance for athletes and have $500,000 in there. It's full money that because that can be wiped out in one operation. So we try to take that liability back into the states. All right.
Okay.
All right. So when you look at it now, the major expense left for the athlete is the airfare. All right. And I think it makes it more palatable because even accommodation this year, our plan this year is to probably cut accommodation in half. All right, that is significant. When you're moving it from 140 to 70, that is significant. All right,
and that is per night.
That is per night, yes. Because accommodation in totality is probably around about $125,000. Right,
wow.
That's what it impact on the schools, and we want to cut that in half. And that is with our discounts with it, because we would have put up funds to secure those prices from last year.
Right.
Yeah, somebody's credit card is holding that expense, right, from last year.
Yeah.
All right. That is the gamble and the interest and the investment we put in our athletes. So in essence, without having a number that gives specific for the athletes, the major expense right now would be, let's say, a $600 for the athletes and probably another $125 for accommodation.
Okay.
So if a parent wants to send their kids to Penn, they'll be looking to anywhere from $600 to $800 per athlete.
Yeah.
And that in itself, and that's not even including visas, because that's the visa is a one-off situation or a situation.
Exactly. Come on, that's another $185 at least.
Yes. So I thought under $1,000.
Yeah. You know, so and why I want to go down the road with that with you, you know, and the help that you've been giving the schools is for people to understand, as I said. And even with Melissa happening, and that no Team Jamaica Bickle has poured a whole lot out into helping, you know, with recovery efforts. Even before, you know, all of what you have coming up with Penn Relays, you have been with you and your team has been
in fact,
putting a whole lot into that Melissa effort.
We're honored to say that, you know, a lot of fundraising and all that, the diaspora was motivated to respond to Jamaica's challenges. And I'm one of those who believe in staying in your lane. We stayed in our lane. We stayed in the sports lane. That's not to say we didn't have interest and support others, but we want to make sure that our discipline, our charges, our attention is given to. And for the first time this year, we actually sponsored a meet, just about in totality, in Jamaica, and that is the Fuller Anderson meet that took place at GC Foster.
Yeah, you sponsored that one.
Yeah, we spent upwards of $12,000 there, including we even gave 2 cash prizes to the schools that from the Western Central that did well. So we had a allotment of $12,000 US there, and then we participated in Central Champs and Western Champs. We gave some stipends to a meet held at Stet's Invitation or whatever it's called. And we also supported a developmental meet by ISA, J3As and GC Foster. So we have spent close to $25,000 since January. $25,000 US since January here in Jamaica. And also part of our outreach, we worked with one of our sponsors at Penn and we were able to secure some $88,000 US worth of merchandise that we're in the process right now of distributing to some of the schools in Western and Central Jamaica.